Another huge round of applause for our amazing student content.
Now we're going to hear from our second keynote speaker of the day, Sameeha, about her journey and passion for social entrepreneurship.
Remember to submit your questions via the QR code for Sameeha and Jordan's panel discussion a little later.
Hello everyone, can you hear me okay? No? I heard a no. I just want to say, first and foremost, what an awesome conference is this. I mean, come on, can we have a round of applause for the YPI conference today? As our wonderful host said, I'm Sameeha Rehman, and I am the CEO and founder of a social enterprise called Ubuntu Scotland. And I'm really here today to tell you a wee bit about my story, which is a wee bit strange for me. I'm not used to talking about myself, but I hope it provides a wee bit of inspiration for all of you here today. So my story starts, and I always like to start it from here, with my family. Now, my family come from generations and generations of refugees who went through a lot of conflict and upheaval and struggles just because of the uncertainty surrounding the British Empire. They didn't have a fixed home. Often for my family, their homes were burnt down, their businesses were burnt down, they were moving from one country to another, and they had to rebuild their lives every single time. And this happened for a long time until finally they were able to come to the safety that is Scotland. But all through that time, no matter what they were going through, it always struck me that they would always try and help those around them. If there was an opportunity there to help someone in the community, to help a neighbour, no matter how small or big it was, they would take that opportunity. And it's something that really kind of lies with me today. It's that appreciation that they had for other people, and the fact that they didn't have to help others. They were going through struggles themselves, but helping others to them was a necessity of pure kindness. Now, coming to Scotland and finally settling in Glasgow, where we take peace and safety for granted, it instilled in me an appreciation of my surroundings. And it made me think that no matter what I'm going through, no matter how I grow up, no matter what my life brings, I want to dedicate it to helping other people, because I did not want to see anyone go through what my family and my relatives had to go through. So we get to my journey through school. This is me. I know it was only a couple of years ago. So I had a working class background, and despite that, my parents, they sacrificed everything so that me and my 3 older siblings would have a really good education. And it was through this education that the inequality within our educational system became very apparent to me. I mean, as a kid over there, I couldn't understand why there was differences in education, why my friends, my neighbours, my family members, why we all got different experiences, why some of us had more opportunities than others. And to me, it just didn't seem fair. It didn't seem right, and I didn't want things to be that way. So I entered into a school competition, and the competition was, if you've got an idea for a project, we'll give you a wee bit of funding to carry that out. So at the time, my idea was to make this change to education. And I actually got all the way to the final for this competition, and unfortunately, just due to a family illness at the time, there was no one who could drive me over to the final to be able to go and give my speech and contest for it. So I had to drop out, unfortunately. But it was this experience that made me realise, actually, things happen for a reason. That wasn't the right time for me to do this. But I knew that it was only the start of my journey. So I'm going on, and through my early kind of primary school years, my early secondary school years, I took any opportunity I could to volunteer, to learn about other cultures, to learn more skills as well. There's a couple of photos of me, I'm gardening, as you do, and people would often say, young people, they don't really have very much to give. You know, you always get some older folk who said, nah, you need to wait until you're of a certain age, and then, you know, you've got skills and experience to give. And it made me question myself. I'm thinking, right, at my age, what can I really do to help people? You know, what benefits can I really give? And the benefits that I could give were the fact that I've had years worth of being active in the community. You know, I'm taking that time to learn from people with different experiences to myself. And the fact that I'm actually doing that means that, you know, I'm growing as a human being. I'm learning more. I'm becoming the person that, you know, I hopefully am today. But I also learned in that actually, you know, having the skill set, so to speak, it doesn't need to be degrees. It doesn't need to be in certificates, you know. It doesn't need to be printed and on a wall. The best skills that you have are the ones that come from the heart. Showing kindness and compassion. Spending a wee bit of time with an elderly woman who feels isolated and just taking that time to chat to her. Or giving a welcome smile to a refugee. These small little bits of volunteering with those who feel marginalised in our community, that's exactly what has shaped who I am today, and I think has made a world of difference to those around me. So we'll go on, and I kept my volunteering up. I did that for a lot of years, but as I was doing that as well, I completed a degree in law, politics and international relations. I trained as a counsellor. I learnt how to teach English to those of a foreign language so I could help out refugees. I started my own community magazine business. I was chosen as the UK delegate to an international leadership conference in Prague. I won the Scottish Young Achiever of the Year Award for 2019 for my community work. And I also became employed as a Chief of Staff, the youngest in UK parliamentary history. Now, at this point, I'd literally just turned 20. So, yes, I'd done a lot, but I wanted more, and I wanted to strive further, and I wanted to achieve more. So what I did as part of my volunteering was I tutored kids in kinship care, those who typically maybe struggled a wee bit with education just because of their home life and, you know, what was going on. And it reached COVID, that big word that we're not meant to be saying today, but it reached COVID times, and I thought, right, how am I going to continue working with these guys? And I thought, right, well, Zoom has been invented. I'll bought them all Zoom accounts. And went on to Zoom, and I said, right, guys, you know, what have your teachers got work for you to do? And they said to me, well, we actually haven't been given any work to do. And I thought, right, this is a bit strange. So I went to their teachers and I said, well, so-and-so said they don't have any work to do. And no offence to any of the teachers in the room, because this is just this one teacher, I'll just make very clear. But this teacher said to me, because of their background, she doesn't think that they're going to want to work, so why bother giving them the work in the first place? And that line is stuck with me. I was so enraged because I thought every single young person, no matter your background or your ability, has got the potential to succeed. Now, as we all do in lockdown, did everyone have a clear out at some point during lockdown because there was nothing else to do? Yeah. So I went and had one of those clear out days, and during that time, I found that original proposal I had done at 11 years old for that school competition. And I thought, I don't know if it's fate or whatever you want to call it, but I thought, it's time. And from there, Ubuntu Scotland, my social enterprise, was born. Now, a lot of people, when I said, right, I'm starting a social enterprise, said, well, how are you going to do that? You're not some sort of business guru, you don't have a business degree, you're only 21. What are you possibly going to achieve? Yeah, I was not a business guru. Yes, I was young. But the fact was, I had so much life experience from being part of the community that I'd taken tips from other people. I'd taken tips from those who'd actually gone and started their businesses and their charities. So I knew what I was doing in that sense. And I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, well, everything that I've gone and done is actually more than most people have done, or older than me, by the time that, you know, they're, I don't know, maybe their 50s and their 60s. But most of all, I had a passion. I had a passion for education. I had a passion for supporting young people. And I thought, right, whatever else, maybe, I'll have some fails along the way in terms of admin things or the business-related side of things, but I'm always going to have that passion. And if I keep that with me, then Ubuntu is going to grow. So what Ubuntu actually goes and does is we go into schools and we deliver life skill workshops. And how we go and do that is we go to folk in the community and we say, look, those who have got knowledge, have got skills, have got time to give, don't necessarily have a degree, have not had that chance to go and work with young people. We say to them, right, we'll give you those opportunities. And we go to the schools and say, look, we understand the pressures on you. We understand that there's a full curriculum that you need to carry out. And we know that, it's difficult to do, but at the same time, we know there are gaps in education. And we want you to tell us where those gaps are. Tell us what skills your pupils would benefit from seeing, and let us find people in the community to deliver it. So we've been doing this now for just over a year, and I'm very, very proud to say that we've gone into a lot of schools across the Central Belt, and most recently, just in April, I managed to win the Young Scot Enhancing Education Award at the Young Scot Awards in Edinburgh. Thank you. So the main question I'm usually asked, and I'm sure plenty of you, as soon as I started speaking, are asking yourselves the same question, is what does Ubuntu mean? Now, Ubuntu, when I had to come up with a name, I wanted to do a nod to my own Kenyan heritage. And Ubuntu, it's an old African philosophy, and it translates to I am because we are. And it's a powerful belief that we as individuals, that the skills that we bring together as a community is more powerful than anything else. That when we come together to learn together, to grow together in harmony, then this can basically defeat any obstacles in our path. And I thought, what better way to basically name an organisation where I'm looking to bring individuals, people in our community together for the sake of the next generation, for you guys, for all of our young people. So you've heard a wee bit about what inspires me, why I'm doing what I'm doing. My question to you is, what are you going to do? You guys have done incredibly well, and I'm not saying that lightly. You've done incredibly well for your ages through YPI. This has allowed you to go and find social issues in your community, to go and speak to charities, to organisations, to work together as teams. A lot of you maybe don't have a chance to do that, but later in life we're going to have to do that a lot. Work with folk that you maybe don't know particularly well, or don't maybe like. But you've managed to do that. You've confidently and creatively gone and presented your ideas as well. And I was very lucky to be in Lenzie Academy last week and witness this for myself. And the young people are absolutely amazing. So what I want to know now is, what are you going to do with all those skills that you've got? Because keep in mind, you have now got skills that most people older than you don't actually have. Now, for me, like I say, you've heard what inspires me. And one thing I like to remember all through my life was that nothing was ever an excuse. My background was not an excuse. My social status was not an excuse. My inexperience was not an excuse. For everything for me, there was a reason. My passion was a reason. My drive was a reason. My optimism that things do not need to be the way they are was a reason. I'd like to end on a couple of wee things. One being that YPI should be your stepping stone to success. And I want you guys to use the philosophy of Ubuntu, the one that I've just told you here. I am because we are. Each and every single one of you have got skills, and if you put them into practice, we can help the community as a whole. And finally, I want to end on a motto that I came up with that I lead my life by. And I hope that you guys can take some sort of inspiration from it today. And that is, your life will be fulfilled when you fulfill the needs of your community. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, Sameeha.
That was incredible. Everyone here chose a charity that meant something to them and their community.
It's great to have some of our charities here today in the audience.
Many, many charities have been directly supported by all of you through YPI, which brings to life the scale and significance of what young people have achieved through YPI.
These charities support